All right, so there's a fight I didn't talk about previously because the opponent hadn't been announced. We now know that Filip Hrgovic will be fighting Mark Demori on this big Saudi show on December 23rd. Mark Demori, most of you will remember, got knocked out in one round by David Haye back in the days. It was a comical affair. In fact, I think that was on Dave, the channel Dave, which is a comedy channel. Very appropriate for that fight. Mark Demori looked like a character from the video game Streets of Rage. Strange body proportions. He had those little gloves on, you know, that the characters in Streets of Rage all wore. Now he looks like Ben Davison in about 20 years. Yeah, Demori is obviously going to get splattered in this fight. It won't be competitive. It's a complete mismatch. I'm not mad at it though, because Filip Hrgovic is mandatory with the IBF. And he's been mandatory for over a year. He fought Dempsey McKean last time out and risked his mandatory position. Mandatory shots are not easy to come by. If Hrgovic was to fight somebody halfway dangerous at this stage and lose, he'd go right to the back of the line. And when you are a dangerous heavyweight, it's very rare for a champion to voluntarily give you a shot at a title. So Hrgovic would have to fight his way back into a mandatory position again. That'll probably take 18 months, maybe longer. And then he'll be waiting another year to 18 months to get his actual shot. So you're talking about what, 3-4 years potentially for him to get another mandatory shot if he were to lose now. So I've got absolutely no problem whatsoever with mandatory challengers just waiting for their shot rather than continuously risking their position. You know, the champions have perks and privileges that nobody else has, including mandatory challengers. They get the lion's share of the money. If it's a one belt champion, they fight a mandatory maybe once every 18 months, sometimes not even that. And in the meantime, they can either be inactive or they can fight hand-picked opposition and make millions of dollars. Mandatory challengers can't do that, folks. I got no problem with them waiting out their shot because it's not always about the opponent necessarily when we talk about activity, you know, the need for fighters to stay active. Going through the motions helps to some extent as well. Being in front of the crowd, you know, in the dressing room before the fight, getting wrapped up, being part of a big event. It's all experience. Hrgovic was very experienced in the amateurs, of course, and in the WSB, but it all adds to it. It all keeps you in the right mind frame that you're still in the mix. Psychologically, it keeps you in the right place. It's not always about how difficult the opponent's going to be. You know, Hrgovic has fought difficult opponents before, and he knows he's going to be in against a difficult opponent when he fights for the title. So this is like a little respite tick over for him. I got no problem with it. Anyway, not much more to be said about Hrgovic versus Mark Demori. We all know what to expect. I'll leave it there.